Hey everybody, welcome to our first Algebra 1 functions video. So our function notation is often written as f of x, or you'll see some letter here and then parentheses of another letter. So f of x. Now whenever you're talking about functions, this can usually mean y. So you guys should have learned this basic equation for a line y is equal to mx plus b, right? This is a basic equation. Now, if you want to convert this into a function, this becomes f of x is equal to mx plus b. So functions have very specific identifiers. If you have a graph of a function, let's say f of x right here, if this is f of x, and if you have a graph of another function, and let's say you call this f of x. Okay, well, which one is a function and why? Right? That's the question we're asking here. Why is this graph a function or this graph not a function? Well, we're going to identify this as not a function. So not equal to f of x. And this will be, equal to f of x. So why is this graph a function but this one not? Well, there's something called the horizontal line test. So basically, if you go through the graph and you draw a horizontal line at every single point, that horizontal line should only have one contact point with the graph. That's why it works here, right? Every line you draw here, every horizontal line you draw here, will only connect with this graph, with our f of x graph, at one point. Now that doesn't hold true over here. If you look at, if you draw a line, or a couple lines actually, you have a contact point right here and a contact point right here. So you have two contact points, and because of that, it does not pass what we call the horizontal line test. Horizontal line test. So that tells us whether the graph is a function or not. Now, functions also have other basic properties than using the horizontal line test. So you'll often see xy coordinates given by this, or given in this specific form. So this is called a xy form, right? X comma y. X comma y. Now this is the domain and range of a function. So what is a function's domain, or D, and what is a function's R, or range? So domain is going to be all possible x values that the function can have. So if this is our function, if this is what we are given, what is our domain? Well, we know that our x values always come first. So our domain becomes 1 and 2. And our range, well, our range values come second, which becomes 2 or 3. So 1 and 2 are the only possible x values for our function, and 2 and 3 are the only possible y values for our function. So what we're going to do in this functions unit is we're going to figure out how to solve and graph functions as well as take their inverse. Now we'll go a little bit deeper into what an inverse is, but the notation for the inverse of a function is usually f of -1 of x. So in the next video, we're going to get some practice getting used to this notation and solving some basic functions or graphing them.